done our egg poaching, and you actually said to me off camera that you thought it was easier than scrambling.
I think so. I think the way you teach makes it look really easy.
It is easy. And you did your own little eggs, so we know that you can do it.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to live happily ever after. Now, obviously, when we're serving a breakfast-style entertaining, you're having a party or anything, we need to know how to pimp up our beautiful eggs. And we've actually poached some eggs, and they're perfect. But if you've ever been out for breakfast to a coffee shop, very popular breakfast or brunch dish is Eggs Benedict.
Yeah.
Now, most people would never even attempt to make their own Hollandaise sauce at home, but I want to change that, okay? So you saw how easy the poaching was, all right? So making the Eggs Benedict is also very easy. And of course, you could have toast or a little brioche going with it. You know how to poach the eggs now, and I will show you how to do the sauce. Now, we were just saying off camera, that's an obscene amount of butter. Okay.
It's a lot of butter.
So don't wear your skinny jeans tomorrow, although you can probably get away with it. But Hollandaise sauce, like a mayonnaise, is full of fat.
Yeah.
And it's full of happiness. And it's full of flavor. And it's full of personality. Now, I trained as a professional chef. And a Hollandaise generally would need a clarified butter. Mm-hmm. Now, when I say to most people, clarify your butter, their eyes cloud over and they just go, well, I don't know what you're talking about. It's when we melt the butter. Have you ever melted butter before?
Yep.
And then it separates, okay? And when butter separates, it then also, the yellow oil drops to the bottom and then the white milk foam comes to the top. And you're supposed to stand there and scoop that white foam off the top.
Right.
Now, like I said, I did that in my early 20s and I got bored in the first 5 minutes. And now when I want clarified butter, and the reason we clarify it is because it's got a higher heat point. Mm-hmm. So if you put butter in a pan, it burns very quickly. When you take that white milk solid out, it's got a better chance of not burning in the pan. Okay, but far too boring. So when I've now, now that I'm a happy chef and I just want to take the easy way out, I actually have come up with a way where I can get away with not clarifying my butter, and that's come through my many years of making pasta. Mm-hmm. And one of the sexiest sauces for pasta is a burnt butter sauce. Yeah. Now, most of my customers that tell me, oh, Mel, I burn everything, they get very excited when I say burnt butter sauce. They're like, oh, that sounds like I can do it. But when I say burnt butter, we're not essentially going to burn this butter so that there's black smoke coming out and you're worried that you've done something wrong. But we are going to wait. If you can see here, the butter has now started to melt. Yeah. The white milk solids have risen to the top. And we are going to wait for them to go slightly brown. Now, I know I get way too excited about this butter, but in a second, you are going to use your highly trained sniffers to smell the happiness. And what will happen here is that butter will melt and the white milk solids will smell nutty. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. At that stage, I will stop the cooking process. Now, what we've done there is, first of all, I've saved you 20 years out of your natural life, clarifying butter or making ghee for your Hollandaise. Let's just be honest with our friends and upfront that we are doing a burnt butter Hollandaise.
It sounds better too.
It sounds more expensive and they don't have to know that you were lazy like me, all right? So I only corrupt you when necessary. So here, this, if you weren't using it for a Hollandaise, if you were making a pasta or a steak or a roast butternut, because you're a vegetarian, you could have a sexy burnt butter just to put over the top. Yeah. And it literally adds $10 to the dish. Yeah. Now we are going to add, and you can see that foam there going nice and starting to go caramelized. And can you smell that?
Oh, it's delicious.
It's smelling sexy. I'm going to put some beautiful sage from my garden in there because sage goes really well with the pasta dishes that I was talking about, but also with our eggs. All right, so it's going to be a very glamorous dish indeed. Now, if you can see here, when we get to this point, at this stage, I would never start answering phone calls or updating your profile on social media or something because you need to stand by.
Getting close.
It is a very expensive and traumatic mistake where you got distracted and you burnt your butter. Yeah. If it was looking like it was about to burn, I would take this out of this hot pan and throw it into a cold dish and it would stop that cook immediately. Can you see? I'm going to put that off there. Come and have a sniff.
Yeah, you can smell it.
It smells like heaven. I know delicious. Like I said, I get too excited, but this is what we're looking for, is that lovely browning there, and that is the flavor.
Smells amazing.
So already we could just serve this, like I said, on a steak, on a beautiful roast piece of pumpkin or something like that, and it'll literally blow their hair back. But we're going to commit and make this eggs Benedict.
Yep.
Okay. Now, a lot of people don't do the hollandaise because they read in the recipe that you need a double boiler. Now, have you got a double boiler at home?
No.
That's what most people say, but do you have water at home?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a pot?
Yes.
Okay. Already you have a double boiler. So what we're going to do is take just a pot and we're going to put about 1 inch of cold water into there. Now your water must never ever touch the bottom of your bowl. So this is basically cooking it over steam, and you need to be safe when we are doing this because this is obviously going to get hot.
Yeah.
And when you pick it up, it is going to burn you. So I will teach you how to be nice and safe as well. I like to train you for everything so that you, when these things happen, you don't start crying and drinking excessively. Okay, it's a bad look. It's a very bad look. So what I've got here for our hollandaise is we've done that, and that was 175 grams of butter. But this is going to be enough for 6 people. Okay, so it is an obscene amount of butter, but there's going to be an obscene amount of... Yes, we can share and we can do burpees later. It'll be fun. I've also got 3 egg yolks. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to pop our egg yolks into here. And I've also got 30 mils of water. So I've got the recipe for you. So if you give that, just break it up with that cute little whisk. Then what I'm going to do is add just a pinch of cayenne pepper and also a pinch of salt. So basically we are seasoning the eggs. Now this is very similar to making a mayonnaise. And when you're making a mayonnaise, I always recommend using a room temperature egg instead of with the poaching we wanted a cold one. But here we are actually using the double boiler to heat that up. Now, this is a very quick process, so please don't, like I say, zone out. And I'm not trying to scare you, but we're going to put this over. I just need to get a cloth. Okay, so that is nice and hot. Now we need to have a cloth ready because when we need to take this off, if you just lean it over that steam, you're going to burn yourself. So I always say you've got to practice your Beyonce lean when it comes out and get yourself away from that steam. I've tagged Beyonce many times. She's never gotten back to me, but I think she should.
One day.
So over that double boiler, and you can see I'm turning that down straight away because we just want a very gentle heat here. So if you come and have a look over there, all we're doing here is we actually are going to cook those eggs. So when it starts to scramble across the side, you've waited too long. Okay? So you see I've turned that down. If you keep stirring for me, we're going to swap. We're also going to do some lovely lemon juice. Now I've got one of these cool little lemon squeezers. You just put it cut side down, and it's good for making margaritas as well. Although you probably wouldn't have that for breakfast. And the reason we need the lemon juice in there is to emulsify our sauce. So in your exam later, when I say what type of sauce was this, you can say, oh Mel, it's a emulsified sauce. And another example of that is a mayonnaise. All right, so as you can see, it's going to thicken up nicely there. And what we're going to do is when that's nice and thick, we're going to put it back off the heat. So you can see that's very quick. And Agatha's not crying or drinking excessively. So it's not scary at all. And literally we're just warming those eggs up. Then what we're going to do is add our obscene amounts of happiness, also known as burnt butter, into there. And we're going to have a lovely emulsified sauce. Now, of course, we're going to do this as a eggs Benedict. And for the base, you could either use a brioche, or we've got that sexy little breaded circle that I did. And we are going to just adorn our beautiful poached eggs with our burnt Hollandaise sauce. This is very good. That is amazing. All right, so they are nearly thick and nearly ready to add the butter. Are you excited?
Yeah.
I will get that plate ready. What I'm going to do...
magic in the kitchen, Mel.
All right, this is perfect. So, literally, so thanks for doing that for me.
Pleasure.
All right, so literally it's just going to get a little bit thicker. And then all we're going to do is pop it over here, and we're going to whisk in that lovely burnt butter. Now, what we've got ready is this could be a brioche. I've got that lovely piece of little round toast. We're going to pop, if you pop those 2 eggs on there, just pop them anywhere you want, and then this will be, there we go. That's what I wanted. Can you see I was just waiting for that little bit more thickness? If you have a look in there, Ben. It's just looking almost like a thin custard. And literally, I've got a nice safe steam here. It's not too hot, so control your cooktop and turn it down if you need to. I'm going to do this off the heat, just because it's safer. And that does curdle very quickly if you aren't watching. All right, so what I'm going to do there is now, just to keep it warm, I'll keep it in there. I've turned this off now, so it's not actually having any more heat. And then I'm going to put that lovely, sexy butter with all of its burnt bits in there, even the sage, all right? And of course, I can do it with one hand, but of course, if you've got a little helpful assistant, you can get them to help. I'm just going to add that in a stream.
Do you want me to hold that pen, or are you
Oh,
right?
no, it's all right. It's not my first time. So that's warm enough. Now, of course, don't add this all in one stream. It's not going to work. We kind of need to add it in a thin stream so that it can emulsify the sauce. So if you throw it all in, then it's still going to taste good, but it's going to be lumpy and curdled. All right. So, of course, this is not my first time, which is why I can do it just with one hand and this one pouring it in. But, of course, if you have a handsome assistant or one of the kiddies to help you, then by all means. And I'm putting all of that flavour in there. Luckily, I work out because that pan is very heavy.
I was going to say, it looks heavy.
There we go. All right, so all of that nutty goodness from our butter, I can feel the calories mounting up. But have a little stir. It's like a sexy custard. So depending on how hot you get it, if you get it thicker than that, that's okay. Because what you can do is you can actually just thin it down with a little bit of hot water. Okay. So it will sometimes go thicker, but this is perfect because if you can see, it's just going to coat our eggs and the spoon perfectly. If you guys weren't watching, I think I would stick my finger in there and taste it. All right, so what we're going to do is, this smells like heaven.
It does.
I'm going to pop some of that over there. Now that is enough, because remember, this is very rich. And of course, you could have some lovely fresh parsley or anything you want. I'm going to put some basil, or we've got sage, but you could also almost do like a little fresh salad over the top of this. I always like to put some of the edible petals because it just looks so beautiful on my feed. All right, some of the black peppercorns, and I think that is going to look like $1,000,000. But if I show you on a different plate, and you will see that I always use different plates because my guests will never know that I'm doing the same dish. I'm just rehashing it on a different plate. So I do that all the time. And here with this one, I wanted to show you because if this was a steak or a chicken breast or something in there, this could be your sauce, okay? And then we could do a nice, elegant drizzle around the plate. It's the perfect consistency.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It looks amazing.
Should we taste?
I can't wait to try it.
Oh, a little bit of happiness happened right there.
With pasta as well would be delicious too.
It's going to be amazing. So, burnt Hollandaise sauce.
Can't wait to try it.
It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
And decadent.
Yes.
Let's try these things. Enjoy.
Thank you.